So any more lightning strikes, and guaranteed half of Valley View will go up in smoke.
The whole village is going.
We had to go to help people, and we went, and the whole place is gone. Everything.
Wow, those are just some of the devastating scenes in British Columbia where wildfires continue to burn out of control. Communities have been completely leveled and others are still in the path of destruction. And local authorities are sending a clear warning. Get out now while there is still time. Lindsay Duncombe is following this story for us from Vancouver. Lindsay, what has been happening overnight?
Well, we're learning that there were more than 80 new fire starts overnight, and there are 10 fires that the province describes as of concern. Those are the ones that they are really worried about, including a new fire in Durand Lake. Now, that fire has led to evacuation orders for 71 properties in the area. There is also a lot of concern about the Sparks Lake fire. That's something, or the Sparks fire, that is something that we've been talking about for several days. It is the fire that is near Kamloops. It's also close to the Saskatchewan Indian Band, and overnight more evacuation orders for two different communities there were issued. The order for people is to get out by 9 a.m. this morning. So right now what's happening is people are packing up their belongings, trying to find a place to go, which is a challenge because we've heard from Kamloops earlier in the week that one of the evacuation centers was already full. So there is a challenge for people to find where they need to go to stay safe. And what we have right across the province, particularly in the interior, is a real sense of anxiety here. A lot of uncertainty, volatile situation, changing by the hour, and people having to move at a moment's notice.
And Lindsay, we've also heard from federal authorities about how they might be willing to support British Columbia as it continues to battle with the flames. What are you hearing on that front?
Well, the first line of support here is going to be aircraft. The idea is bring in those federal resources so that people and equipment can be moved, whether that is moving resources, firefighters to fires that need to be fought, or getting people out. So helicopters and airplanes, they will be based in Edmonton. Here's what the defense minister said at a briefing last night.
And given the severity of the wildfire situation in Western Canada, we're establishing a forward operating location in Edmonton. This location will be able to provide support across the region as needed, and work is underway to position air and aviation resources in Edmonton as quickly as possible.
Now, what does this tell us about what the government is thinking about the rest of the fire season? Certainly, positioning this base there recognizes that this is a threat that could continue for weeks and months to come because of how early we are in the season. Could also include people to fight those fires. However, the first resource for people will be other provincial firefighters because they would have some of the same training as the British Columbia ones.
Lindsay Duncombe in Vancouver. Thank you, Lindsay. For more about how the fires are impacting the communities in British Columbia, we're turning now to Laura McQuillan in Toronto. So, Laura, the images are devastating, but it's the people who are affected that will have to tell these stories. What are you hearing from them?
Yeah, and some of those stories, Natasha, are just heartbreaking, so tragic. We're hearing these stories of people like knowing that their house was burning as they were fleeing, or knowing that their animals were left behind, some leaving with just the shirts on their back. And of course, we're talking about hundreds of homes, thousands of people who've had to get out and get out quickly as well. We know that last night there were another 93 properties ordered evacuated just southwest of Kamloops. You're looking at some of the footage that one person we spoke to sent in to us. This is in the Kamloops area as well. And last night we were speaking with, or rather yesterday, we were speaking with some people from Decker Lake, which is north of Kamloops. A fire burning out of control there, some 700 properties evacuated. And among those who was preparing to get out was Gordon Weiss, and something that he told us that really stood out to me, and it's just really heart-wrenching stuff. He said that while he was packing up, he was thinking he could lose everything he left behind, and that he didn't want to start over at 66 years of age. Here's a bit of what he told us.
The only thing we're taking, really, is our pictures of our family and our kids. We're not taking furniture, nothing. Just family stuff. That's it. And clothes to wear.
Just family stuff and clothes, Natasha. So hard to make those decisions about what to do. And we've been checking in with people from Lytton as well. You'll recall that village that was burned to the ground. Said that 90% of it is now gone. This is one of the videos escaping from there. An anxious wait for those who did make it out to wait and see what might be left. We did speak with a couple and we played a clip for you when we began this hour of news. Tricia Thorpe and Donald Glasgow. They live on a farm and they'd actually used a school bus to help other people evacuate, but they had to leave behind their animals. They knew their cats were locked inside the house. It's just these really tragic stories. And in terms of Lytton, a lot of people wondering, did some people not make it out alive? We have had that confirmation from some family members that indeed they did lose loved ones, but the RCMP says it's still too dangerous to get in there and really get a handle on how much damage there is, but also how many people may have lost their lives there, Natasha.
So Laura, while you're going through these very difficult and challenging stories, what is the province looking to next? What's ahead for them? Yeah, so a lot of people asking that question, what's next? When we've been checking in with people about what they need, there is of course that federal help to fight the fires. But in terms of other support, we heard from the local chief of Lytton First Nation, John Hogan, that people need cell phones to contact their families. They need a place to stay, all those kinds of really simple things that you take for granted. And here's a bit more of what he told us.
We would request any help that moves things forward, because there are people that are still in limbo. People have to look for places to lay their head down and have rest, and there's so many things that are still unknown and undetermined, and we need the logistics to carry forward with good work.
So just the simplest of things that people need at the moment, Natasha. We have a website on the screen at the moment, and anyone who did evacuate from Lytton or indeed from anywhere else is asked to register at that address, ess.gov.bc.ca, just to let people know that they're safe and they can access provincial resources there as well. So lots more to come on this. We will be speaking to more of those evacuees as the day goes on.
Okay. Laura McQuillan in Toronto. Thank you, Laura.